China owes American families billions of dollars in unpaid debts owed from sovereign bonds. The American Bondholders Foundation has spent years preparing the necessary steps for China to pay these outstanding bond debts in one settlement. All of the sovereign bonds being represented by the ABF have been verified as authentic. This is a nonpartisan issue. The following three statements are from former members of government and provide us with clear perspectives. John Hullum, the former Undersecretary, U.S. Department of State, former Director of U.S. Arms Control and Disarmament Agency, wrote the following. China is eager to be recognized by the international trade and financial community as a market economy. Toward that end, to be regarded as a responsible and reliable participant in international commerce and finance, the People's Republic of China must stand behind its debt obligations, including the obligation to redeem bonds issued by its predecessor government. The international political and trade system would be unworkable if countries were allowed selectively to repudiate contractual commitments undertaken by a previous regime. That is no less true of financial commitments held by private parties than it is of treaty commitments made to other governments or to the international community. On both legal and practical grounds, therefore, it is in China's interest to affirm its trustworthiness by reaching a settlement with U.S. holders of its outstanding bonds. Al Fromm, founder of the Democratic Leadership Council, stated, China must stand behind its debts to be recognized as a responsible market economy by the international community. The People's Republic of China should honor its financial obligations to United States citizens under international and commercial law, even those debts undertaken by a previous regime. To do otherwise would be like one American administration saying it would not pay the debts incurred by a predecessor administration. By reaching a settlement with U.S. holders of its outstanding bonds, just as it did with British bondholders in 1987, China will earn the trust of international markets. And former National Security Assistant to Senate Democratic leader Richard D'Amato stated the following. The People's Republic of China desires to be respected as a leader in the international trade and financial community and to be recognized as a market economy under the rules of the World Trade Organization. The United States lent its prestige and international influence to help China gain access to the WTO, and it is expected that China will live up to its obligations in that organization. As is well known, China has been the major international purchaser of American Treasury bonds, and no one questions the trustworthiness of the United States to stand behind its bonds. At the same time, the United States has every right to expect the People's Republic of China to stand by the obligations it has undertaken. Under well-settled international law, these include the debts incurred by its predecessor government on the mainland of China in the first half of the last century. Bonds issued by that predecessor government and purchased by many American citizens to finance the development of infrastructure in China remain an outstanding debt that the People's Republic owes many of our fellow citizens. Just a few years ago, the government of the People's Republic repaid similar debts it owed citizens of the United Kingdom when the official status of Hong Kong changed hands. The time is long overdue for the government of the People's Republic to satisfy similar debts owed to the citizens of the United States. This issue is not going away, and it gets more expensive with each passing year. The defaulted Chinese government bonds were partially or fully based on the gold standard. The money was used to build their infrastructure. Payments from a negotiated settlement would be distributed to bondholders in 43 states and humanitarian charity programs in all 50 states. The U.S. Treasury would also receive billions in long-term tax revenues, which would benefit all Americans. This settlement would be good for America and good for China's future. It would end the largest financial injustice ever perpetrated on American investors. For more comments and information, contact the American Bondholders Foundation.